Today, yet another shakeup to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' 2024 presidential campaign. He's replacing his campaign manager, another sign of a rough first 3 months, driven in part by DeSantis' own failing bet on his war on wokeness, which he promised to bring to the White House. The Financial Times reports the latest blows to DeSantis' fundraising, 2 more billionaire donors dropping him over his, quote, severe abortion position and his fight with Disney. The latter is also not sitting well with several former Republican governors and lawmakers who filed a brief last week in Disney's federal lawsuit against DeSantis, according to the AP, calling his autocratic retaliation against Disney, quote, severely damaging to the political, social, and economic fabric of Florida. For his part, DeSantis doesn't seem bothered enough to change course. Is on track to really drive his campaign into the ground. Here he is with NBC's Dasha Burns again defending the widely criticized outrageous new requirement for middle school teachers in his state to instruct that in some cases slavery was beneficial.
So that means they developed skills in spite of slavery, not because of slavery. It was them showing resourcefulness and then using those skills. If this was a different state and the governor wasn't running for president, no one would have said anything about that.
Yeah, I think we would have. Joining our conversation, former congressman from Florida, MSNBC political analyst David Jolly. Jason is still with us. Okay, let's take this in 2 parts, guys. Let's talk about the sort of campaign reboot, and then let's talk about the fact that he's not actually learning the lesson, understanding, David, that these 2 things very much happen in tandem. I mean, you can switch up your leadership, but if you're not willing to fundamentally change as a candidate, I'm not sure that's going to be the magic that you're looking for.
That's right, Alicia. Ron DeSantis' problem is not his staff, it's the candidate, it's himself. And I know that because I know several of the people in Florida politics who are working for him, and they're exceedingly talented staffers and campaign strategists. They're just working with a terrible candidate, and that is why you're hitting the ceiling. You know, this conversation about how woke has its ceiling and its limitations, even in the Republican Party. I think one of the reasons, despite all the substantive debate around his war on woke, is it just exudes bad faith, right? The war on migrants by doing the Martha's Vineyard stunt, reaching into Texas and shipping them, just shows bad faith. It's not a constructive way to address immigration. The war on trans youth and trying to intervene with the medical counsel youth get is just, it's bad faith. The war on voting rights is bad faith because there is not a policy agenda pursuing equity. And I think that is why this ethos of Ron DeSantis is hitting such a challenge. He is seen as somebody that continues to act in bad faith in these culture wars. And then on critical issues of race and equity, Ron DeSantis appears determined to just run for the White House to represent white America. That now, 6 months into this, is basically his brand. It's not working.